Rich, we here having lunch at the Broadway, and give the people a bit of a backstory. But before I do that, I want you to introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, know like good stuff.
I'm just a regular Orlando kid, man. Shouts out to Mark. I'm a huge fan of the vision, the project he's doing right now. The lunch, the conversation, the dialect. I feel like there's a lot of creatives in Orlando and things of that nature. And I saw the first episode and I was just like, man, I gotta sit down with this dude. But yeah, I'm just pretty much a regular New York dude. Moved down here to Florida. A lot of y'all out there know me pretty much for the music thing. I dropped an album 2 years ago called Work the Dedication.
Yes, sir.
That was just like the biggest reception I've ever received. Everybody loved that album. A lot of favorites on that project or whatever. But anybody that knows me, even from a friendship basis or collaborative artistry basis, everybody knows that I'm really into specific talks and topics and things of that nature. So I'm just intellect. I just like, what I'm saying? I love perspective and things of that nature. So that's just pretty much who I am. Everybody who knows Rich knows I'm like that.
For sure.
Right.
But hey, listen, after I got I dropped the episode, and then you saw a segment or part of it that you had a part 2 maybe, or something that could spark something else. Mm-hmm. You made that comment and I was like, yo, I've been needing to talk to you, so that's that was a good thing. So when you made that comment, I was like, yo, I gotta hit him up right then and there. We gotta make this happen. Right. So, and when we got on the phone, and then you told me about the topic, I was like, yo, that's definitely something we can get into, and that's something that's needed in the community too. So without further ado, let's talk about this topic.
Right.
So listen, per what I got, because of course I'm gonna give what I take from what you're trying to get here. So basically, there is a topic in the community, in our community, that we don't talk about when it comes to dating, and something that we don't talk about when it comes to our preference in dating. And you seem to know where that originates from, and where or how we can even decipher or where we can go from there.
Right.
So talk to the people about the subject that you wanna.
Yeah. So pretty much, look, at the end of the day, a lot of us we're products of our experiences, and I just felt like after listening to the first segment you had with the girl with lunch or whatever, I felt like a topic, amongst our community, and especially amongst a lot of black men specifically. It's a lot of black men who maybe date outside of their race, which is totally fine. You know what I'm saying? I believe, love is at the forefront of everything, chemistry and those things, morals, you know what I'm saying? And that foundation, that sacred covenant, once all of those things align, I don't think it should matter. I mean, the topic though at hand is, where does a lot of preference come from a lot of black men, and why that preference is there?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because growing up, a lot of my peers, my age or whatever the case is, a lot of them, I mean, it could just be regular guy talk. We talk about how we just played ball or whatever, and a girl will pass by and we'll be like, yo, she's cute or whatever. Yeah. And then one dude freely just out of the group will be like, nah, she's too dark for me. Something like that, you know what I'm saying? So there's this color complex that's amongst a lot of black men that they're free to express amongst their boys about why they don't like women of darker skin tone or whatever. And I just feel like,
So you don't think it's nothing regular? I don't think
it's in their head it's regular, but I do feel like it derives from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you have that, when you actually move forward in conversation with them, and you start to dissect why that is. A lot of men just chalk it up to simple preference. Oh no, it's just preference, man. Everybody got their own preference and stuff. And it's cool to have preference, but we have to understand that preference comes from somewhere too. There's a reason for preference. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just gonna be like, give me turkey bacon instead of regular pork bacon. there's a reason why I prefer turkey bacon over
pork bacon. Yeah.
And understanding where that preference comes from will make you understand where that
mindset,
where that mindset of why that black man feels the way he does is, is why he feels the way he does. And that's the issue, because when you dissect into why black men feel like that, then you'll start to see some alarming reasons as to why. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, let's take a step back.
Right.
So, when it comes to the preference aspect of it, and how they view certain things,
right?
Do you think it starts at a young age and then continue on, or it may have been caught in the middle, or where does that stem from? Do you always think, because you made the reference about playing basketball all together and chop it up about certain things like that?
Yeah. Well, I do believe that it can happen different ways for different people, because at the end of the day, a lot of black men have different reasons as to why they date outside of their race, or why they're attracted to a different shade or tone or whatever. So if we analyze one of them, let's look at it from birth's perspective, right? Every man is different from when they grow up. I know me personally, like when I was a young kid growing up, before I even like hit puberty or whatever the case is, I knew that when I was in like kindergarten, there was 2 specific girls in my kindergarten class that stood out from the rest. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm like, oh my God, like she's beautiful or anything like that. I mean, I got a toy train, she got a toy Barbie. Like, I don't know about beauty or anything like that, but I know that those 2 girls are different. One was like a Puerto Rican girl, the other was like an Indian girl. But it didn't derive from skin tone or race at that point, because I'm an innocent kid. I don't know anything about race or anything like that. But they were just different for some reason. So my attraction to them derived different from just skin tone or anything like that.
So what would you think play a big role in that attraction?
I just feel like maybe the way they did their hair or something, maybe, they knew all the answers to the ABCs or something like that in class. I'm like, why is she so smart? Or why is she so nice to me, right? Why is she's so nice to me? Like, why she always gives me one of her gum or something that. And that comes down to chemistry, right? That comes down to simple.
That's the key word I was looking for. So you said it comes down to chemistry. So you believe that attraction was not because of where she was from,
nothing.
Color, nothing like that.
No.
But chemistry played a big part in that. But now let's pedal forward to now.
Yeah.
So you believe that because of certain things that we experience or that we hear, chemistry no longer plays a part?
Yes. I do feel like as you grow up from baby to like even teenage, you know what I'm saying? Even up to 12 years old, in adulthood, I feel like there's certain things that are portrayed and soaked to you. A baby soaks up the most information. So when you're a young kid growing up, you're soaking up information every day. So even when you wake up on a Saturday morning that's not a school morning and you start watching your favorite cartoon, when you're looking at that TV, you see a Maybelline commercial or Olay commercial or whatever, and it's nothing but a blonde white woman with long blonde hair and stuff like that. This is considered beauty, right? When you go to your cartoon, at that same cartoon that you're walking, the bad guy, the villain, is a black monster looking type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And not even to get historic on y'all, but back in the day, when they used to make movies and stuff, back in a lot of, high racial, racist, days where huge segregation and everything of that nature, white people would and this is why blackface is a very serious thing to a lot of us even today. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people portray it as just a joke on Halloween and stuff, but there's historical significance behind that, because they would paint themselves as black faces to depict evil villains and things like that. So imagine you're a kid growing up where everything that's darker tone is considered, ugly or not that cute or something like that. Subconsciously, you don't even notice it, but when you become a teenager, now you start looking at the girls with the long straight hair and the lighter skin tones as beautiful. And you feel like, that's just my preference, but that preference comes from somewhere that you don't even know.
Exactly.
So that's one aspect of it. You got that type of aspects where it's the programming, the media programming. The second aspect I was going to get into was like how you was raised. There's a lot of fathers out there, there's a lot of men out there who their preference or how they feel specifically about a specific ethnicity or race, they throw that on their kids, they throw that on their sons. And I know a person right now, he's one of my close friends, he told me verbally when he was growing up, his father kind of put it on him like, nah, I don't date black women, like, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Joking around, laughing
and
with the guys.
And it may be stemming from a character issue, but as a kid, you don't hear the details, the layers in that statement. Don't date a black girl. The father may have had bad experiences with dating whatever it was, a black girl or whatever, and because of that, he makes a statement, which it gives no layers, no context onto why he said such. As a kid, who are you to try to dig what context is? You're
not gonna dig, you just heard the statement, you're gonna run with it,
It's just like the simple keys on the keyboard. When you press J, it gives you J. But if you then learn how to click shift to probably give you a different character, you always thought that the keyboard, every time you press J, gives you J. You know what I mean? So now long term, when you get exposed to, you can do this, this is why this was, then it might have been too late. So you make a very good point.
And those are the main two reasons. You grow up unconsciously, feeling like you're attracted to one race, but that's literally just what's been portrayed on you throughout society, throughout media, throughout all of these platforms, that you just grow up thinking that a lighter tone is better, but you don't really know, but that's just in you by now. Now you're an adult, and there's no way you can see a black woman pass by and you feel attracted to them. And then you have the actual influence, the influence of a father in the household or peers around you all the time telling you that this is cute and this looks better and things like that, and those play a factor into you. I'll even do a third one for you. Let's do the ones who were actually attracted to maybe black women growing up, and they actually had experiences, and those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 experiences might have been horrible experiences for them, and now they're just like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I tried before and this is not. I'll even go into those and look at these situations. How many of those women maybe had a father figure, you know what I'm saying, to know how a king is supposed to be treated in a relationship? Did you dissect in those relationships to kind of understand that woman and see if you could kind of, trust me, it's hard saving them. Don't get me wrong, it's hard saving
Hold on,
them.
wait, we gotta pause. I don't think they understand the layers that's been. Take a bite, man. We can't give him too much yet. We gotta walk the dog on this one. This is a slow walk. Man.
Yeah.
All right. So that one man who is no longer attracted to black women because of the experience. It may not have been the women's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have stemmed from how they were raised in the household, and what kind of influence they were given, either by the mother or the father, on how to treat a king in a relationship. So that's key.
That's the key. That's the key right there. But how many men actually sit down and they have the time to try to work with that woman? Or how many men are at the age like, man, I need a woman who gets it already.
Already. That's the key thing.
That's difficult too, because if you're a man and you're 28 years old and you had plans on getting married by 32 or 31,
and you meeting all these,
you want at least 3-4 years of a solid foundation relationship
before you
tie the knot. Do you have time to be teaching a woman who's 28, 29 years old how to treat you? That's very difficult. So
that is crazy.
So you got to make the decision at that point. That woman who grew up in that single household that maybe has difficult time teaching, maybe has difficult time in learning how to treat you as a king and not bring up, because she's supposed to be your piece, right? We as black men, what's one of the main struggles that we have out there in the world? Trying to find ourselves in careers and things like that. You think after a 9 to 9 p.m. shift or a 6 to 6 p.m. shift, we're gonna come home and we want to deal with something else? You know what I'm saying? So if she doesn't understand the importance of her role when you come into that household after a long day, after the stress you just went and getting turned down from jobs that you know you're qualified from and things of that nature. If she doesn't know how to soothe that soul that you have when you walk through the door, you're gonna look at it, man. I'm
difficult
like, I'm tired of these, like, you know what I'm saying? And then it's a very unfortunate, but that privileged Caucasian woman that grew up and she had that father around, and you know, she seen what her mom was doing and stuff like that with her father on a 24/7 basis. You come home and then before you know it, like, you getting your back rubbed and everything.
That's a new world for them.
What is that going to do? It's a new world, and that's going to tarnish your mind about black women. You know what I'm saying? So it's very difficult. You know what I'm saying? And it's a really tough. It's a really tough. Because those people, they actually tried. You know what I'm saying? They actually tried, and it's not good to put all of them in one box.
Exactly.
But what do you say to those dudes who actually tried throughout their whole life and they still receive the short end?
That's a mouthful. And I really, we're two gentlemen and we have our opinions and how we see things. And I'm sure the ladies have a different approach on this.
Absolutely.
And we could go on and talk about it, but I really want us to dissect this with a woman present.
Right.
I really wish, if that's okay with you,
Yeah.
Rich, I would probably want to do this again.
Yeah.
And definitely dissect it with a woman present, because I want to hear what that world is like.
Yeah.
Of course, and want to hear what their take is.
If I had to, not to assume, obviously every woman's perspective is different, but there's a lot of women where there's a lot of pain that you're going to be hearing from them, especially black women. I mean, if we look at from a society basis, as far as...
Are you guys doing okay?
Doing okay, sir?
Everything's good, boss. If we're looking at it from a society basis, like, black women have it the hardest out of even us. They have it the hardest out of even us, like, you know what I'm saying, as black men. Like, you know, there's a lot of things they go through in society as far as appearance and as far as acceptance in society and stuff like that we as black men, we don't even have to go through, you know what I'm saying? Me and you, like, you could walk through the mall right now in a suit and, like, a lot of chicks will turn their head, like, you know what I'm saying? You got a clean cut, clean everything, and a lot of women will turn their head or whatever. A black woman, she might have to work a little harder than that, you know what I'm saying?
She might be up to par and still not get the look.
Yeah, exactly, you know what I'm saying? And it's because of what's been embedded in a lot of brains growing up. So it's a very difficult topic, but
it is a very difficult topic. But I just want to give the people a little substance to say that we're not necessarily here to get the answers. Definitely want to raise the awareness and raise the conversation to eventually change the mindset of either men or women when it comes to these topics. So before we switch or go to a different topic, besides understanding, right, having more understanding for each other's past or each other's background before getting in a relationship, what else you think may ease or make this transition or make dating black women or make the guys that see black women a certain shade, what would make it easier for them to approach the future?
I don't know the answers. I don't know the answers to the first two perspectives I said about the two men. The one that maybe grew up as a kid and he only saw, you know, black as portrayed as negative or something like that. Or the second one where they grew up and you know, that was embedded from their family. That's the hardest one, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about the answers to that, but the guys who maybe loud ass cars. I hate those dudes. Got a loud ass muffler in your car.
For no reason.
Like, come on, man, what are you doing? You're not going nowhere. But to the dudes that maybe had those experiences where they actually dated those women and, you know, failed attempts and stuff like that, maybe have a mother with one, you know, maybe have a child with the mother of one that maybe comes off bitter and stuff like that. The truth of the matter is that when it comes to black women, there has to be a lot more empathy. There has to be a lot more empathy when you're dealing with the average woman, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
At the end of the day, I don't know if you can speak on experience, but I've dated a lot of ethnicities out there, you know what I'm saying?
Likewise.
Yeah, and I've never been challenged as much as my sisters have challenged me. And it depends on the type of man you are. A lot of men out there, they call themselves kings, but they haven't been challenged before.
There's no battle wounds to say that you are the king that you portray to be.
Before. A lot of those men who like those other women is because the truth of the matter is that that's easy for them. So they feel like they got it going on, but the truth of the matter is that that's easy for them. And don't get me wrong, like I've had that before too, but I'm not into a yes chick. A yes chick is just gonna do whatever you say.
Exactly.
She ain't gonna advance you. You know what I'm saying? So
there's power
and
equal knowledge.
Hearing this. I know there's probably a lot of black women going like, "Oh yeah." Don't get it twisted. I feel like you should fall in love with who you fall in love with. Period. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my truth. I can't raise a child. I can't raise a son to tell him that he's only obligated to date his race and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If I work hard in my career and I make the type of money and income where I can move my family into a area that's unfortunately, predominantly white, and my child grows up with nothing but white people or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because this is not an unknown fact, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us as minorities, we're not in those positions, you know what I'm saying? We're not in those areas and stuff like that. If I raise my children in a nicer area than I grew up in the hood in New York, you know what I'm saying? And he grows up around nothing but Caucasian women and stuff like that, and he finds that in a wife, what I'm gonna tell him, not to bring her home?
Exactly.
Come on, that's reverse racism, you know what I'm saying? I can't do that. So at the end of the day, we both have jobs as black men and as black women. I ain't even talk about the black woman's job yet. You know what I'm saying? I think if we sit down with the other girl, then we could definitely get in some more. Definitely go into that.
All right, let's switch up a little bit.
Right.
That was some good stuff, and I really want to go further with that. But you watched the World Cup?
No, I didn't.
You watch any of it?
I did, man. I didn't get to. It's working.
None of it. But did you follow it at all?
Not really.
You know who won?
France.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were in the colors, by the way.
Yeah. We both were in the colors.
Exactly.
By the way, this was not planned.
Oh yeah, that's one thing.
Yeah.
One thing we meant to tell you guys.
We are both dressed the same right now.
Yes.
This guy found out what I was wearing.
The truck. All right, if y'all didn't hear what Rich said, we did not plan this outfit at all.
The same right now. We did not plan this at all.
We legit walked into each other and was like, what the heck?
What are you wearing right now? Yeah.
So we didn't coordinate this or nothing like that. This is not part of the lunch segment. We don't coordinate outfits.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But you didn't follow any teams at all. You didn't have a team that you were preferably going for.
Man, that whole World Cup, man. For my Jamaica team, ain't none of them stuff. Man, when they in the finals and stuff like that, that's why when I follow the Olympics, I'm following the racing. I'm following the race. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not too familiar with it like that, man.
I was a Brazilian fan, so I'm a Brazil type of guy. So they went out. So by default, I think I went with France because I'm from Haiti and all, and they had a footage of them on the plane, and they were jamming to a compa song, which is by this band. It was just my favorite band actually. It was Kissimmee. So they were jamming. So I was like, okay, I can relate to these guys because of that. So I think I'm a little biased for that aspect, and it's fine. But they won the World Cup. So now I'm like, okay, that's good for them.
Yeah.
But I always did see they had this thing on I think it was Fox Sport, where one of the players would take a selfie video at the end and say how you felt about the match, and that was very watched. Most people was looking out for that, and he was a black dude. Okay, not saying anything of it.
Yeah.
I did see a lot of black players on the team, but I didn't think much of it at first. It was just like black players, France.
Right.
It wasn't until I was speaking to someone and they were seen in a different view.
Right.
France colonized Haiti for a long time. It wasn't until like 1804 till we got free and got our independence that we weren't colonized by the French.
Right.
Our main language at the schools in Haiti is French, so
Right.
we speak French
Yeah.
most of the time. But never no correlation or nothing like that. But then when they won the World Cup, CNN released something, and I saw a lot of memes. I don't know if you've seen them.
I saw that meme.
Diddy actually posted something this morning.
He posted it as well, yeah.
And you're the first person I'm talking to about this, so I wanted to know, what is your thought on that? The fact that we're highlighting black excellence,
Right.
and we're owning it because of that. If it was another, let's just say Croatia won, and of course I don't think there's any black players in Croatia or playing for Croatia. What do you take from that appreciation? What do you take from that, I guess you would say, soloing them out, or like basically taking the black players and embracing them?
Yeah.
What do you take from it?
Well, the truth of the matter is that, are they really appreciated in the end, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we consider true appreciation? You know what I'm saying? The truth of the matter is that us as black folks, African Americans, a lot of our so-called appreciation is really just giving us pennies under the counter kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we, you heard the term shut up and dribble, shut up and play and do certain things, is when we might feel accepted or whatever the case. And a lot of that is not even a true acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Because you wake up the next day and you're still racially profiled or discriminated against a certain way. So, look, at the end of the day, man, like, racism is not something that's gonna stop. What needs to stop is policies and systematic things that are in place that people are literally gonna be penalized from if they act out on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but I'm not expecting an 85, 90-year-old white woman who grew up in the Jim Crow era that has prejudices against black people to change her, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna expect her offspring that she raised underneath those morals to change. However, if this person is in a position that can affect my life, at the end of the day, I do feel like there should be lifelong penalties for them if they act out on those prejudices. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of times we kind of want people to like accept us or whatever and stuff like that. But the question of the matter is, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is it really going to change from them? Those deep-rooted things, forget the racial talk. We were just talking about dudes that are that poison is in their mind about so-called preference towards specific shades and tones of skin color. That is embedded. That's embedded. That's not something that, like, you know what I'm saying, can just change overnight. Then you wake up one day and you don't feel that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
It's deeper.
yeah, and I'll even go this far. I even go this far at the end of the day too. It's up to us to control where we are spending our dollars, where we are spending our dollars as black people. Because without the threat to the pockets of people, things aren't going to change.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's tough.
And it is what it is, bro. Like, you know.
So, you think us highlighting it now? You think it's a good
Yeah.
view?
It's good talk. Yeah. Anytime anything is highlighted,
For us,
brings
it's a good
awareness.
view.
Yeah.
All right. Now, CNN said something. They said that the French people's warm embrace of African sports icons should be extended to the large numbers of immigrants from across the African and Caribbean who are seeking refuge against man-made natural disasters in their country of origin. So basically, CNN is saying that France is highlighting all the players, including the African players, right? But on the other end, they have a very strict immigration law against Africans. So what CNN is saying is that it should be, that celebration should be carried on to further, because some Africans are trying to leave Africa to go to France because of natural disasters and things of that nature. Do you agree with CNN? Not from, of course, we're black men and we're discussing this, so definitely I would say there's a very high chance of agreement in this, but what do you take from it?
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I'm all about equality across the board. You know what I'm saying? If those immigration policies are strictly devoted to holding back African Americans, you know what I'm saying?
Or Africans, period.
Not Africans Americans. Sorry about that. Africans, period. That's an issue. You know what I'm saying? That derives from somewhere. We need to find out the internal root of where that comes from.
Christopher Columbus.
Precisely. You know what I'm saying? And these policyholders and these legislators cannot sit here and act like it doesn't come from anywhere else that is not derived from hate and prejudice. You know what I'm saying?
So to celebrate on one end and to turn your back on the other.
I don't care about the celebration. The celebration is only because you got something out of that, which is a World Cup. You know what I'm saying? So without the World Cup, there would be no celebration. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a damn about the celebration. The celebration is just to act like you appreciate something because we did something for you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so if me and you was cool, but you ain't hear from me in 6 months, right? But then I hit you up for a discount to somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Whether a cruise discount or something, and you had hookups, or a flight ticket, a discount or something. Then you hook me up with that discount. I'm like, yo, bro, like that's why I mess with you. Like,
hey, let's celebrate. Let's go have a drink.
Let's go celebrate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think if you didn't hook me up with that, then I wouldn't? Come on, you
there would be no reason.
6 months.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to what I'm saying, pennies under the counter type thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, it's just, come on, man.
And this isn't an answer question per se, or answer topic. But do you think the players should do anything about this, or should it just carry their art of winning and the happy feeling and just kind of go about it and continue to play like they were before?
I think players in sports have one of the most powerful voices in the world, because at the end of the day, they are influencers. You know what I'm saying? They have strong influence. There's things that me and you can say right now that will be profound to a few people in the city or Orlando or wherever it travels to. But if I was a global icon like Jay-Z, or a global icon like Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or something, these words would resonate a lot more. It shouldn't, because we're saying the same thing.
Yep. But influence is a big thing. Yeah.
Influence is a big thing. So they do have power. We're talking about the World Cup right now because it's current, but the same thing goes for the NFL.
Yeah. That's a whole nother story.
The NFL showed their true colors this year when they made it mandatory for players. You know what I'm saying? And not once voiced the concerns or the opinions about what the players were kneeling for. Respectfully kneeling for, may I add. The NFL showed its true colors. So at the end of the day, we have to sit here and look as players like, man, what's our real value out here in this world if the things we care for, in our offspring, our family members that are maybe in these urban communities still, that we're making these billionaires, trillionaires, you know what I'm saying? When are we really going to get heard if they don't care about the same things that we're going through?
Exactly.
So that whole winning a World Cup or winning a Super Bowl and stuff like that, nah. If you ain't for me, then I'm not for you, period, point blank. And
that's how it goes. Hey, man. Listen, we could go on and on about this conversation, but I wanna end it here so we can enjoy this food. And best believe we got a part 2 coming, man. Cheers.
Yeah, man.
Cheers to a great conversation, my brother. And as always, everything is good, man.
Absolutely. You know, I really want to shout out this man right here. I feel like what he's doing right now is like something that I really respect, you know what I'm saying? Sitting down with people in the community and stuff and getting different perspectives on huge topics and stuff. It lets you know where people's mindsets is really at. A lot of us out there, we're living through these devices and things of that nature, and you know, we got different personalities online than who we truly are. So sitting down with a lot of people in the community and getting a clear, concise understanding of people's views on things and where they stand, it shows their character, you know, and
definitely.
I really appreciate that project, you know what I'm saying? So everybody,
I appreciate you, brother.
yo, follow this dude and what he's doing, man.
I appreciate it, but we'll chase to another one, man.
Right, man,
chase to you, man. Dope man. Thank you, sir.